Hi, everybody. It's
Hello.
great to have you
Hi.
all, Vital Librarians. If you could just introduce yourself real quick. My name is Melissa Jacobs, and I am the Director of Library Services for the New York City Public Schools and New York City School Library System. Debbie?
I am Debbie Rothfeld. I work on the Erasmus Hall campus. On the Erasmus Hall campus, I am a Vital grant winner from last year.
Stephanie?
I am Stephanie Rosalia, the librarian at John Dewey High School in Brooklyn. Vital winner this year.
Teresa?
Hi, everybody. My name is Teresa Israel, and I'm the librarian at Scholars Academy in Rockaway Park, Queens. And I am a very recent Vital winner.
And Mandy?
Hi, I am Mandy Federn, and I am a campus librarian. I work at IS 303 and Rachel Carson High School, and I am also a winner this year.
Fabulous. Congratulations to our recent winners and congratulations to our previous winners. Stephanie, you just had a grand opening. So exciting.
It was fabulous.
So can you talk a little bit about how has the Vital Library Program positively impacted your school's library program, and what specific changes or improvements have you observed?
I have seen an increase and a surge in engagement and excitement in my Title I high school, where my students come from many different countries, speak many different languages, and are not necessarily comfortable in new places and new spaces. And what I have seen is a willingness to learn new things, try new things. We opened up a makerspace and a podcasting studio. I had a student tell me during our grand opening podcast that last year as a freshman in our high school, he had 6 people that he spoke to. And now through the programming of learning how to do podcasts, he has an ever expanding circle of friends and collaborators. He has had his eyes opened and felt that he has found his purpose. And I was crying during that interview, because these are kids that would otherwise be lost. In the makerspace, we have small robotics, kids who never had an opportunity to explore that kind of thing, all kinds of crafting and gaming, and it's my no phone zone, so they can have their phones everywhere else in the building, but not here. That was my motivation. Get the kids off their phones and engage their incredible energy and their talents. And it's been enormous. I from the minute we had a soft opening at the beginning of the year, and now I have lines to come in, and it's absolutely fantastic. We have our own YouTube channel with the kids doing podcasts. And why is this important? Because it's so important to be able to have children and students who are afraid to try new things, to have positive failure. I work at John Dewey High School because I believe in John Dewey's methods of learning by doing. And when you find that you have failed, but you can try again, that's a resiliency that you need for college and career. It's a confidence builder. I've seen my kids who struggle with English become leaders. It's just an incredible change in the whole atmosphere and zeitgeist of this entire school. Plus, they learn literacy. In order to do those podcasts, they need to be informed. And now they're motivated to be informed. It's not an assignment somebody gave them. It's something they really want to do.
I loved attending the grand opening. And for those that don't know what Vital Libraries is, it is a grant program that we developed to make our schools vital to the school community. And it stands for Vital, Instructional, Transformative, Academic, Learning Libraries. And I believe that a library is vital when you have stakeholders. And those stakeholders are built in and developed through a library advisory committee. So yes, we do give you a little $50,000 prize that we help you apply to developing the program at your school. So we developed the makerspace and the podcasting studio at Stephanie Rosalia's school at John Dewey. But really, it's about the sustainability about the library program and having the stakeholders be a part of it. And I definitely saw that at John Dewey's grand opening, because there were students, you know, buzzing around the room, and you felt the energy. You really did feel the energy.
You really
And
couldn't miss it. It was amazing. And we
yeah,
have about 65
absolutely.
after-school clubs in this building, and everybody has buy-in here.
Mhm.
Everybody, and the coordinator of student activities has placed his desk in the makerspace. So everybody in the school comes through the makerspace to talk to him. And the
And
club
it's
after
amazing
school.
to see it and to experience it. And I've seen it firsthand because I've been working with that school for over a decade and watching it transition to this really vibrant library where people believe in the library program and it's ingrained in the school community. So Debbie, you have received the Vital Library Grant as well in the same year as Stephanie. In what ways has the creation of the Library Advisory Committee enhanced the involvement of stakeholders at your school? And how has this collaborative approach contributed to the sustainability of the program? Oh, I think you're muted.
Yeah. So let me first say that I went for this grant twice. Okay. I lost the first time. I have no problem saying that. And it was because there was so much work this library needed, that assistance with the vital monies would have been just a drop in the bucket. And while I was disappointed, don't get me wrong, you know, I did my little whole cry thing and all that. I understood. And I used the rest of the year, you know, to organize. I used the rest of the year to find a team who had vested in interest in the library. You know, I work on a campus, that's 5 schools, and it's 5 schools with 5 different, vastly different personalities, you know, but the one common goal is that that everyone has the goal of educating our students and seeing the best for them, you know. So before communicating like the value of the program, I had to create a space, you know, I had to create a space that served all students and educators and administrators and families, you know, all the library stakeholders. But I focused on the students first because I really truly believed if you build it, they will come, you know. And I started off slow. I started off really slow. I started off with jigsaw puzzles that are on my back counter, you know, and that got the kids in the first time. And it kept on giving them back. Like, as much as I want a new circulation desk, to get rid of this back counter, because this is where the conversation started. You know, this was, you know, this is where I learned on who they were and who my students were. So, you know, like I said, I focused on them first, you know, student ownership of what happens in here. It creates a different buzz than posters and bulletin boards, you know. The kids are a walking, talking hype machines for their own ideas. And they generate ideas in the library that I may have never been able to do on my own, you know. And I've really learned I can't do this on my own, that I need a team, you know. And that's, for me, that's a lot because I want to do everything myself. And I realized, you know, hey, you know what they said, you know, was it Clinton that says it takes a village, you know. And you know, so I mean, I listened to the library stakeholders as they express their needs. You know, we distributed marking tools like surveys, you know, to collect feedback. My goal was to reflect the diversity of the community and to broadly represent a cross section, you know, that we serve. You know, and I think the most important part of the SLAC committee is the 4 C's: communication, connection, commitment, and collaboration.
I think that sums it up really brilliantly. And, you know, one thing about your school and your grant applications that may have an impact on me and this program itself is that you took the feedback from the original application, and we do provide feedback on each and every application for Vital Libraries, and used it to develop your next application. And so this year we had 108 schools apply for Vital Library. So congratulations to our 2 winners, because you know, you were up against 108 schools, but for those 108 applications, we were able to provide feedback. And every library is in a different place. You know, we have 1,600 schools in New York City, and New York State requires a school library in every school. Not every school has a functioning library program. And so this is an opportunity to get those programs off the ground and invest in those programs. So hopefully with the library advisory council, but also just the application itself, we're able to provide that feedback so that everyone is on the right path in moving this forward. It takes very little time to break down a library and close it. It takes years to build a program.
Yeah.
So for our new winners, Teresa, what are your
everybody.
aspirations and goals for your school libraries program? And how do you plan to sustain the positive changes hopefully initiated by the Vital Libraries program?
Well, first, I just want to say thank you again to the Office of Library Services for believing in us and believing in this space. And my story is very similar to Debbie's. I transferred to Scholars about 3 years ago, and the library had been shut down during the pandemic, and there had been 3 or 4 previous librarians, and the place was really I'm not going to say not functioning, but it wasn't vibrant at all. It wasn't vital. And so slowly over the last 3 years, we've been trying to create a space for all the stakeholders. So my main goal is really to make it the hub, to move it into the instructional focus of the whole school. And I really feel like with this Vital grant, I feel like this is a stamp of approval. It has gotten everybody talking. The creation, we started to create a library advisory team, and that was really like the changing point for us this year too, getting the kids involved. And again, we want that space to reflect, it's their space, it's not my space. And that's one of the things that I'm hoping that long after I'm gone, their input and their involvement and their passion for it and what they want to see the space look like and used for will, continue to keep with the sustainability of the program. But yeah, when I first got here, it was a room, but now I feel like it's a place to come and hang and meet friends, and it's got like a great vibe now that has been a long time in the making. But the kids were all so excited when I told them that we won. So yes, I really can't thank you all enough for believing in us and it's like the little engine that could this library, really.
Congrats.
And I apologize for the dog barking in the background, but
That's okay.
Andy, what aspect of being a new Vital librarian are you most enthusiastic about?
Well, I'm excited. I'm not just a new Vital librarian. I'm a new librarian. This is my first year as a librarian. I was a classroom teacher for 20 years before this, and then I've just transitioned. So everything is new at this point. And that almost caused me to not apply. I just felt when the application opened up, I didn't know enough. I hadn't been here long enough. I didn't know the culture of either of the schools. So I wasn't going to do it. And many people along the way suggested that I just apply. So I'm most excited about just all of the learning that has already happened and that will happen, because it's like at a breakneck pace now. I've gotten to meet with a lot of people. I've gotten to know a lot of people, and there are things coming as far as the planning for our project that are involve things I've never done before, like a budget, having a LAC, and this whole thing has sort of pushed me at a faster pace to get to know my school, to get to know my administration, to ask questions, to sort of put myself out there. It definitely accelerated the process. So I feel that that's going to be the best part of it, is just figuring out and learning from, both administrations, learning from people at Library Services already reached out and helped me so much. So that is definitely going to be it. We're looking at our space, we're going to take our former reference room and just kind of try to update it and turn it into a multifunctional, multi-purpose space. And we're just sort of looking at it as a launch pad. We're a new program. The library here has had several iterations throughout the year, but this is the first time it's been a shared space between the two schools. So we're all looking, and one of our administrators is a new principal. And so when they came together and made this a priority, we just looked at it all as a new beginning. So it's new for everybody. And we're all kind of coming in saying, there's so much that this can be, and this is just the first step in that. So taking these funds and using them to help support launching this program, it's going to be really exciting all around.
I couldn't have said it better myself, and I am so excited to see the launch of your 2 programs at Teresa and Mandy's school and see the transformation. And it is a process, and I'm thrilled to see and learn about each school's place in that process and watch the transformation. Thank you all for being a part of our Vital Library session. And stay tuned for how these schools will transform and really impact the students' lives. And that's the most important thing, is it all comes back down to the students and how their lives are changed. And I think, Stephanie, you summed it up when you talked about, finding those kids that didn't have that opportunity prior and giving those opportunities to them.
Working with Title I schools has always been my preference, because I feel that bringing equity to the kids who were born without the silver spoons is so important for lifting them up to participate in government and their lives, and having the realization that, yes, you can also do this. Those people who interviewed me for the podcast just blew me away, because they opened my eyes to what the possibilities they see, possibilities that did not necessarily ever occur to them before. And one serendipitous thing, the musicians who played at our grand opening were just a club that somebody put together. And the principal was so impressed by it. She's putting in a band program in the building with uniforms, instruments, and everything else. So this has got an exponential growth potential as the
Talk to them. They were fabulous. And they're like, yeah, we're
wonderful.
a club. We just, we're a bunch of kids that just came together, and some of us never picked up an instrument before.
And with donated instruments, because so this has brought just new everything into this library. There's buy-in from every department, every teacher, every student. That was led by a school aide, not even a teacher. And he is just walking on heaven. He's just walking on heaven's earth.
I didn't even know there was an Erasmus song until I started digging deep, because I was like, I want music at mine, and we found the Erasmus song, and I have another school that is practicing it with their choir, and they're going to do the Erasmus song for the party.
And you know what? Just the participation from students who didn't necessarily ever want to participate in anything that was organized, because it might not be cool. This is now the coolest place in the building to be.
Oh, every skipper wants to come into it, the library, because they're like, I don't want to go to class. Let's go to the library. I'm like,
yeah, well, there's that.
I'm like, I love it, but at the same time, you really do need to go to class. But I love that you want to hang out in the library.
Not at the pizza
in the
place.
library.
In the library.
Yeah, in the library. They want to hang out in the library. Like they're doing, besides the puzzles, I have the Legos and the Keva planks, and these kids are doing it every day. The puzzles, everything. They helped me with, if you're coming to the meeting on the 26th, you'll actually see my displays. But they helped me make a Martin Luther King display just the other day. There's nothing I don't do for these guys. I come in early, I stay in out late. Actually, they're actually still sitting over there. The winning of the grant really meant a lot.
Well,
my dad had a stroke last year.
Oh, sorry.
And no, he's fine. But I wrote that grant from my dad's hospital bedside. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not going to win. I'm like, can I have some extra time? I'm not going to win. But these kids that are actually behind us now that you can't see, which thankfully you can't even hear right now. They kicked everybody out of the library that day. They're like, you all need to go. She's having issues. He sat there and he called the airlines with me because I was shaking so bad and I couldn't do anything. That's why I do this job.
And that's why libraries are vital to our kids' lives. So thank you so much for being a part of today's very brief session on our vital libraries, but really stressing how libraries are vital to our kids' lives, and how I hope that we can elevate our programs across the city and across the country. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.